All right, here we go. Truck Driver Nation. So what I'm going to talk about now is going to be the truth about working from home. Nobody wants you to talk about, or you don't really know about this. Now I'm gonna let you know I'm fixing to get real stringent on this situation because working from home, everybody don't live like me, and I don't live like you. And obviously, I wouldn't suggest a lot of people live like me because the way I live is obviously very unique and a lot of different facets. Because I made some choices that were good and bad in my career, and and that's one of the reasons maybe I decided to be where I'm at now because I didn't want everybody to be so judgmental on me because I don't take criticism real well. But that being said, what I'm going to do is I want to go through this profile. It's a general profile on these different factors right here. And as we look at these, I want you to remember what I'm looking at is just from one subjective point of view. And I try to be objective, but it's hard when you're actually looking at these things. So the truth about working from home, nobody warns you about this, okay? Yeah, you can work from anywhere. You have that sense of freedom, location independency, be where you want, when you want, how you want. But family dependency, that if you're going to actually have a business working from home, you're going to find out, depending on the family structure, that most of the family is actually going to be in on the business as well. They may not initially, but eventually it just kind of draws everybody in. But that's being said, what everybody makes it to look like, they think, well, we wake up and do what you want, drink coffee and do it in pajamas, no boss standing over you, no traffic. That's just making it to work, no clocking in and no office politics. Yes, some of them are true, but a majority of them are not. Okay. Um, you got to get up and set the rhythm, set the tone for your given day. Get up, get dressed, like you're going to any job. It is your job. This is what you're doing. You decided you want to work from home. Well, so be it. But you got to keep that mindset straight and targeted on what you're doing. For example, the given instance, I'm going to kind of circle around what we do here at Truck Driver Nation. We actually teach people to be freight dispatchers, dispatching commercial loads for CDLA drivers that are doing dry van, reefer, flatbed, and step deck. On the other hand, we also dispatch ourselves. We dispatch, I mean, equipment. We got owner operators. I mainly do step decks. And so we dispatch these folks. Now, the things that nobody wants to talk about when it comes to this in this aspect, and I'm more just like you refer to freight dispatching, but when you're actually working from home and what we found, and there may be a couple of things left out of here, but overall, when everyone wants to, your home stops feeling like a home. It does. It feels like an office after a while. You got to get up, get it done. You got to have a cutoff time, but it's just kind of the way it is because everybody's seeing you work. They're talking about it. They're hearing about it. They're hearing you have conversations, whether you put them on loudspeaker or whatever it is. So it kind of formulates into that. Yeah, I don't want everybody hearing the background though. When I'm working from home, man, I got roosters. Well, I got rid of all the chickens and stuff because I'm preparing to get back to the United States. Right now, I'm sitting in the Philippines. But that being said, I try to obviously make sure that everybody understands about using noise canceling headsets and all that stuff because you don't want to hear all that unprofessional aspect because they're focusing on every word that you have to say. But your home definitely starts feeling like an office. Now your kitchen becomes an office. Your whole house becomes an office. Okay, the phone never shuts up. Nope. You just have to kind of we have our office hours that we post on our website. And inside those hours, that's when we answer those phones. At that point, will I answer them outside that parameter? Yeah, I just get a call like, maybe you should answer that one. I'll answer it. Okay. Thing is, you got to be more short, precise. When you actually set up we call it like a funnel. Okay. You can make a funnel in all different kinds of ways. And the whole point behind it is you want to get to an end result, which is called a conversion. And as long as you're focusing in that direction, you'll make it happen. Now, can you actually hire people to do all this for you? Yeah, we do. But I don't want to be a big business. I don't want to chase money. I know there's a lot of rich people and there's a lot of rich people that I even deal with, but I don't want to be them. For me, I'd rather know God first. I'd rather know Yahweh. This whole thing behind this shithole program is I don't want to be what this place is because I've been all around the world and it's sickening and it's poisoning. The rich hang out in particular areas in the world because it's conducive to them. If they hung out in a lot of these other areas, they would be, even in the areas where they're at when they're really rich, they already have that problem of everybody wanting to get in their pockets or wanting to get close to them. They hang out the areas I do, and obviously because I feel that same scenario, it would be even worse for them because one, they wouldn't be able to live the quality and the lifestyle they're used to. But on the same token, that's the reason they live in the United States or the first world countries because they're a little bit more able to blend in. Because if you got a lot of money, you're going to spend big money. Okay. The more money I've made, I've always spent big money. Some people are scared to spend their money and that type of stuff. But but that being said, um, your whole house becomes your office. And so when I get those phone calls, sometimes I answer them, because it might be, we get big deals just out of answering our regular phone lines. Now your computer becomes your entire life. I'm afraid so. All this technology you have, you got to learn to utilize it, but utilize it in a smart way. Okay. It's just like delegation. Yes, we're in the computer, but who am I delegating based on what kind of flow software I've got and who am I actually designating to handle certain things? And if they don't handle it, I'm not an easy person. I'll come unglued and go up their ass because they agreed to do it. So whether you're going to choose to do that in your particular profile based on your business, that's going to be your call. Now, you don't realize you've been sitting for 10 hours. That's easy to run past because you become so engaged in what you're doing, so focused that every minute, like even I talk now, it's time. It's adding toward how many hours have I sit here and did this, right? And so it's going to be the same principle for you. Now, freedom comes with a different set of problems. And just based on what you're doing, you're going to actually see that. I don't try to make things fancy and all this stuff. You can spend hours doing all the stuff that I do. So I make everything simplistic. If they really want the data, they'll stop, they'll listen. Experience means a hell of a lot more than some flashy ad, in my personal opinion. And I don't want to hire nobody to. I've got one girl, she cleans everything up based on what I want her to clean up, but I don't want to sit there and do this all day. It takes her hours and hours, and I just want to get it done. Let's keep moving. The message is there. You either understand, you grasp onto it, and you utilize it, or let it go. And obviously, maybe you find somebody else that gives you a better level of education or understanding based on the given topic. I'm not the best, but for me, I know what I'm talking about based on my particular industry. And the only reason, like for this one, that about working from home, because I've been dealing with it so long, I was like, this is a good point. Let me talk to them about people about it. But at the same time, my hidden agenda is obviously to push my personal business, truckdrivernation.com, since we do actually teach people to work from home. Now, the biggest thing that you can see physically that nobody warns you about, back pain, neck pain, eye strain, wrist pain, stress headaches, sitting too long, bad sleep, and mental burnout. Every one of these, you've got to learn to address these individual problems, or you're going to overall have a very bad outcome physiologically. Because remember, you're a mind, you're a body, and you're a spirit. You mess with one of those particular parts, it does affect the other two, either directly or indirectly. So when you're coming through these problems, this is going to have to be self-assertive. You're going to have to adapt to these particular issues. Now, working with your spouse, the good and the bad, is bullshit. Okay, let me tell you something. I love my wife, and I love a lot of things about her, and she really tries. But there's an age gap between us. She's 29 and I'm 55. And that being said, um, she's she thinks remedial. And I'm not trying to be mean or be sarcastic or put her down, but it's just the level of education. She comes from the Philippines. I come from the United States. And, every aspect, and you have to watch this because if your spouse is actually backbiting you, that means using things that you say against you, you really need to watch out for that. That may not be the right person for you. And I've had more than one time that I've actually viewed my own wife, and I was like, she better watch that line. She's about to cross it. I love her, but I've been with a lot of other women in my life, and she's not the only woman out there. So that being said, you have to be careful about the boundaries that you're setting between you and your companion and make sure that they understand at any point that for me personally, if I feel like I'm being disrespected and she doesn't acknowledge um, what I bring to the table because I'm trying to teach her, that's going to cause a problem in an in-house work from home setting. Okay. Yeah, I'm giving you the example. I'm telling you what it's going to do. And if you don't see the clarity behind that, then obviously, I think I'd reevaluate and listen to what I'm saying. So make sure that you keep that balance in between you and your wife, um, because I respect what she does. I'm actually surprised at what she's capable of doing because it's like watching a kid crawl. That's to be honest. Um, but I try to be supportive behind her 100%. But that those tempers and all that mental, whatever the hell your hormonal deal, there's a certain point where even I will break and I'll cut it off. So that being said, make sure y'all get a good understanding if you're going to work with a spouse, those boundaries. So the good days, building something together, that's great that we have that freedom together, spending time together, making money together, being able to travel together, not asking for permission to take days off because we're already together. We're doing about the same thing day to day and spending more time together. Every one of those has a very good prospect to it if you look at it in a optimistic manner. Try not to be always a pessimist. But that being said, the hard days, you're around each other too much. That's when I start seeing underlying problems come to the surface. She doesn't know how to overcome her emotions versus her mouth sometimes. And I'm not about to overcome it because it's my business. And, I invited you into it so you'd have stability and you'd have an opportunity to have something beyond me that would actually protect you because money is your protection. Without money, look, you can be unhappy, but there's still a need to have the money. Okay. But if you're going to be happy, there's also still a need to have the money. And the only people I tell you that people say, I don't need that money. That's only people that have never had money. So that being said, that's the whole point behind this. When you actually understand the hard days, and what may or may not come your way. Business stress follows you everywhere and always follows you everywhere. You got to just mitigate it. You got to cut it loose and just give yourself a break and consider what's really important, your quality of life or your quantity of life. I'm all about quality of life. Also, arguments can start over work problems. That's usually what they start over, not liking what I have to say or liking whatever. And it's come down to the point where I just have to say, it's my way. I don't care about your way. Do I want to see what you bring to the table? Absolutely. But it has to be my way. If not, I'll end the relationship and I'll go on about my business and I'll find somebody that maybe is more compatible. As much as I love her, I really try. But even in my aspect, you have to actually understand what is more important to you. Is a relationship or what you're building? If you're destroying what I'm building, then you are not involved in the relationship because you don't care about where I'm spending my time, which that's my biggest enemy in life is time. So if you can't respect the time that I'm spending to strive to build something that not only benefits me, but benefits you as a companion, then I definitely need to walk away from that situation. Now, you can't really leave the office because the office is your living room. Yes, you can. That being said, you got to make a decision. You're setting your office up. You got a lot of things set up there, computers, mics, wiring, cables, plug-ins, and all that. It's hard to get that outside of there. But I would suggest to most people set you up a motorhome or something like that so you can move around. Don't, stagnate yourself and streamline yourself to just only doing this. And as long as you've got good people on your teams, that gives you that available opportunity to be able to move around. Let's keep it simple, move around. So 1 minute you're discussing freight rates, for example, that has to do with us as we're doing the freight dispatching. Next minute, somebody's mad because somebody didn't answer a text from a broker fast enough. It's just another day in the life of being drama. With money comes problems, and everybody wants money and they don't know how to actually get there. And even what we teach in our course, that's the whole point. I'm trying to teach people how to get there. But a lot of people want to go their own route. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. I'm giving you the answers. Take it and run with it. But that being said, that's usually what makes the days really, really hard. It can go from a nice, calm day to a storm. So when you actually get your mindset in from working from home, take it as it comes. And then once the day has ended, let that stay at work. Now you got your personal relationship, drop everything, and now um, be that companion that they expect you to be. Now, working from home is not for everybody, absolutely not. Some people need structure, need separation between home and work, struggle with discipline, when nobody's watching. You have freedom, but freedom comes with responsibility. If you cannot discipline yourself to actually stay engaged on your particular service, product, or service, products and service, whichever way you got it set up, then you're going to absolutely fail. When you work from home, nobody tells you when to wake up, tells you what to do. Nobody forces you to stay focused, and nobody guarantees you a paycheck. So if you can't take responsibility and know how to mitigate each one of those problems, then you're going to fail. All it really takes is one of those to really start pulling you down. You reach 2 or 50% of the problems and you can't handle them, you're going to buckle under. Now, the reward, if you figure it out, you got time freedom, do what you want when you want, you know how to mitigate the problems. Location, go anywhere you want. Your income becomes unrestricted. You can start, you figured out how to scale it, that type of stuff. The overall independence, leverage through, I'm not going to say multitasking, but through, I'm not sure how to put it. It's independence because you know how to mitigate certain things to certain people. So it pulls the stress and leaves a window open for you to actually be yourself. While the folks that work for you, that's their job. They chose to work for you. They're doing their job. If they don't do their job, you literally fire them. Everybody's replaceable. Even I'm replaceable. And that's the way it just has to be. Let's see. Income potential independent. Okay, flexibility. You make it as flexible or as unflexible as you want. This all has to do the way your management skills and your problem solving skills. Control over your schedule. Still, you can't just let it roll free. Okay, you still have to keep your hand in the pot. If not, other people will destroy what you've been building. So work from anywhere in the world, build a life of your own on your own terms. And you actually do that, you could do that in about anything. Just depends on how you're viewing it, how you're structuring it, and what kind of learning curve you're dealing with. So that's why so many people are learning things like, for example, online businesses, digital marketing, copywriting, sales, branding, website design, investing. Um, Online business, that's what we do. We provide a service. We're a freight dispatch service. That's what we train people in, freight dispatching. That's what we do. We are freight dispatchers. And in conjunction with that, we're also truck driver recruiters. So that being said, that's plenty enough to keep us busy. The only thing you always got to figure in, you've got a turnover rate and you got to retrain everybody you bring in new. And that's a lot of different human conditions, like, the human condition, the different type of people that you deal with. Are they going to actually be what they say they are? Are they going to stay disciplined and do their job, whether they're working with you or they're coming through to learn and their failure? People try to blame you on their own failures. Me, I could give a shit because I gave you all the tools. And if you didn't ask me for something or you didn't engage me or you were introvert, that don't have nothing to do with us at Truck Driver Nation. We're here to give you everything. I tell it every day. You engage me. Engage me, I'll give you the answer. Engage me, I'll give you multiple choice problem solving skills based on that given scenario so you can handle it. But if you're not going to engage, you failed yourself. We didn't fail you. We're always here to help you. And that's the reason we give a long-term mentorship. Because people are tired of, and this is the reason they want to work from home, because they're tired of long commutes, bad bosses, work jobs they hate, missing family time, trading their entire life for a paycheck. Slavery. Okay. You might as well be in a damn field in Mississippi or in the Delta picking cotton. Whether you're white, blue, green, I give a rat's ass. You might as well be there because with you got any of this hanging over your head, you are not free. Now, the truth, working from home isn't perfect, but for a lot of people, the trade-off is worth it. Understand both sides before you jump in, the freedom and the pressure that comes with it. I was already used to pressure. I just mitigate it, in the different ways, try to get massages, just leave it alone, walk away from the problem, come back, reevaluate it, get some good rest, try to get good food, surround myself with good people, get rid of the negative attitudes, and that type of stuff. So you gotta, you're gonna lose a lot of people that you think are friends because the thing is, if they get involved in this, what it's going to happen is you're going to see their true colors. From what I've seen hiring people and stuff, everybody's good for about 3 months. Then you start seeing their true colors. And that's when you got to start splitting hairs and figuring out who stays. People are going to get pissed off at you. You know, I was your friend or whatever it was. If you was my friend, you would have listened because, you know, for me, myself, I'm the one with the experience and the understanding of what the hell goes on day in and day out on this and how people, you know, negotiating rates, for example. I'm not here to debate with you. You're a broker, okay? That's fine. If I'm on that side of the fence, I'm gonna stand my ground on that side, but I'm a dispatcher. And if you can't get the money for what we need because you didn't negotiate the rate correctly with your direct shipper to get us the money for my truck to be profitable, then we don't have a deal. We're not carrying the freight for free. Put that shit in your truck and carry it yourself because we can't do it. I mean, why would you want to run me out of business? Okay, it don't make sense. Cannot do it being in the red. Whether I bleed a little bit or a lot, you still are killing me. Okay, you may not have been the silver bullet, but you were definitely a contributing factor. Now, the financial truth that changes everything, the real income potential working from home. Really, it's $30,000 to $50,000 a month. Actually, a little bit more than that, and that's without even actually outsourcing yet. And a lot of people are like, well, how are you doing it? Well, we show you how to do it. The rest of it has to do with you. If I'm doing it, you can do it. Hear me again. If I'm doing it, you can do it. So whatever your business is, based on make sure that you understand your financial revenue that you can pull in your industry. So is it worth you actually working from home if you're not making a big difference in your financial income? Sometimes it's better for somebody else to pull the load and you just be a participant in the game if the numbers are not right. But for me, it's definitely worth it. Okay. And this is just literally one freight dispatcher dispatching between 7 and 10 trucks because we only do step deck. But the average 9 to 5 income, that means you're working for somebody. These people are making about 45 so I'll give it. Some of them even make as much as 125,000. But 45 to 70,000, that's national average. That is pure sickening. And that means both people got to work. That kills the family structure. There's so much negativity with that. And it's going to be a repetitive cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. So with that type of income, that limits growth and that limits freedom. You'll never get off the bottom. You'll always be there and to the day you die, you know. What worked 65 years, retire, 5 years you get to enjoy, and then you're dead. That ain't for me. I'm not waiting till tomorrow to live. I'm living now. And anybody that tries to get in my way, I'll step on you. So that being said, that's just the way you have to be. Now, obviously, yeah, given a take, 30 to 50,000, that's somewhere, give or take around 360 to 600,000 per year. 100% legal, 100% possible, 100% yours. In that aspect, we're talking about freight dispatching. So if you don't have nothing to work from home, definitely get a hold of us. But whatever you're doing, you need to know that keep it legal and make sure that really what you're doing, your work from home is possible. And obviously, if you're actually doing it on your own, it's 100% is your business. So now this isn't just more money, it's a new way of life. Your family, your rules, your time, your future, you're in charge of everything. And that means more freedom, more responsibility, and bigger rewards. I like the rewards. No offense, but it feels good to know that I get to pay for things cash. I still don't have the best people around me. I'm not hating on the people that are around me, but obviously I'm in a third world country. Once I get back home, there'll be people that, because I don't do nothing, but it depends on the caliber of people that you hang out with. If they let you in to share with their knowledge so they can mentor you, not do the work, but mentor you, tell you strategies, give you the understanding that you need, then you can even be more successful. You don't play guitar better unless you hang out with people that play better than you. Otherwise, you're pinging and a panging and a clinging, and it's never going to get beyond that. So you need to understand music theory. So you need to go to the ones that are willing to teach you pieces and parts. You may never be perfect at music theory, but you'll be good enough that you'll do real well in life without the struggles. It's just a temporary situation. And like they always say, U-Hauls. I never seen nobody take one behind a casket, behind a hearse, because it ain't going with you. What you did here stays here. Let's see what else we got here. Give me one more second. Okay. So the pros of working from home are you work from anywhere, you set your own schedule, no commute, more time with your family, unlimited income potential, tax benefits, tax benefits, build your own legacy, help others, and make it an impact. You can teach other people what you're doing because you're the leader. Okay. Now, the cons of working from home, no guaranteed paycheck. You're always on. Distractions at home, loneliness, self-discipline is required. Income is up to you. You handle everything. Stress and pressure of responsibility. You got to learn to mitigate those things. I mean, if you don't, you're not going to last. I've learned to mitigate them because I'm not giving the people that surround me, you want a piece of the pie, you're going to do this. And if you don't want to do this, well, get out of the way. You're the wrong person. I got a million other people that are in line. And you've got to learn to interview people effectively to fill these things that will take these problems off of you. And if you can't do that, then that means you're in the wrong field. You're not making enough revenue. You need to rethink what you're doing. Now, the keys to winning at working from home is discipline and consistency. Man, I cannot tell you. Discipline and consistency is probably number one. You gotta stay with it. Don't go relearn something that you're not good at. Stick with what you know and expand on it. That's exactly what I do. And obviously, you need to have clear goals and systems. That means having strategy. You got to be able to do your time management. Don't spend everything on one thing and didn't get nothing else done that was important. Financial literacy, that's understanding where the money needs to go, how a business functions. How do you know if you're profitable or you're bleeding money? And continuous learning. Never stop learning. Ever, ever. I don't care if you're in business or not, never stop learning. And mindset and resilience. That mindset is that you know you're going to win, and the resilience is no matter what comes my way, I'm not letting it kick me down. I'm getting up, I've learned a lesson, and I'm pushing forward. Now, the lifestyle most people never experience because um, they're not working from home. They don't get to travel more. They live in low cost countries. Well, the lifestyle most people never experience. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I had to make sure the context was right. I live in low cost countries. They wake up when you want. Now, I don't always do that part. Help family and others. That feels good. Um, work, uh, work on your purpose. I know what my purpose is. It's logistics and true time and money freedom. I'm telling y'all guys, I don't know how to tell you on that one. You got to really understand there's so much wrapped into that right there that you really want in your life. So travel, enjoy the world. God gave it to you, okay? Live in low cost countries. Make sure it's the right type of low cost countries that you're interested in. I like South America than I do a lot of other countries. But that being said, um, I still love I still love the United States above all things. But wake up when you want. Make sure you get up in time, get your head together, get your job done. Don't leave your responsibilities in the United States. Remember, you're in time zones. Um, you help your families and others, makes me feel really good. I don't want no reward for it. They've been there the whole time. And I love being able to give something back to my family. It just makes me feel good. Doesn't make me a better person. It just feels good. Um, and that's what I'm here for, to make myself feel good. Yeah, I'm self-centered. So what? So are you. Most people are. We're always creatures of necessity. But work on your purpose. My purpose, obviously, is to get better and better at what I do, learn from others, watch everybody that you can see that's in logistics. It doesn't matter if I watch a million, whatever, clips, videos, YouTubes, whatever it is. Deal with all these other people, all my students and everything else. I'm always trying to find out what they know and trying to learn from them. True time and true freedom and money freedom. Money freedom means that you ain't trying to live from paycheck to paycheck. You're exceeding that. Your savings account is building up. But what are you going to do with that money? So always start looking towards something to invest in. But anyways, freedom is possible, but prepare for the journey. Work smart, stay disciplined, build your life, lead your family. Whether your family is people that are not even relatives to you, make sure you understand their weaknesses, their aspirations, what they're wanting to do, what they like to do. Listen and try to accommodate to those things. And as the business builds, you can move them around. That's something more suitable for them. But even in that given period, maybe they've changed in themselves of what now they have more interest in and doing inside the company. You can do this. We did, and obviously so can you. So don't give up hope. Don't give up faith. But that being said, commercial time, this is Truck Driver Nation. If you don't have nothing to do and you really want to work from home, get a hold of us at Truck Driver Nation. Go to truckdrivernation.com, go in there, and obviously, give me a second, go in there and I'm trying to stop this share thing here. Go in there and go to the home page. and it's truckdrivernation.com. Go down the homepage. There's QR codes there. Once you get the QR code, Telegram's the one you want to get a hold of me. And click on it. It'll bring you straight to me. And you can ask me any questions, contents. But if you want to work from home as a freight dispatcher, we do have courses. So we can run you through everything, mentor you the whole 9 yards. And we include so much. We do Wednesday webinars. So make sure you send in your email to truckdrivernation.com if you're interested in doing a Wednesday webinar. We do them in the evenings because we have truck drivers. We don't want them trying to do a webinar while they're in motion. So we send out multiple links to remind you Wednesday webinar is coming, right? And then obviously at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we send out the final invite and it begins at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Lasts roughly about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more. Wish you could make it shorter, but if you really want to understand logistics and really want to work from home, that's why the webinar is lengthy. But after that, I come back in, questions and answers, answer all your concerns, anything you didn't understand, and then you can make a decision which direction, because we have 3 different directions that you can actually proceed in. So all 3 of them allow you to work from home. But anyways, that being said, thank you for watching this content. Like or subscribe. That would be highly appreciated. In addition to that, go to the website. Also go through the website. There's a lot there for you. Other than that, I appreciate your time. Everybody be blessed. And I look forward to seeing you obviously at the next video content.